Hello everyone, my name is Gauhar Sabitova and today is my presentation about how to improve students' productive skills such as speaking skills and writing skills. As we know that speaking skills require fluency of the students, while writing skills pay attention to this learners, students, grammar accuracy and a wide range of vocabulary. The productive skill lesson plan should take into consideration some points. The lesson aims at helping the learners communicate. It means that the aim of the productive skills is the communication. Secondly, it's unhelpful to provide a topic and ask your students to speak or write. Yes, before writing or speaking something, we should discuss on the topic, give some ideas and arguments. And some preparation is needed before setting the task. As we mentioned, we should do some pre-speaking, yes, or pre-writing activities. It can be some discussions, it can be mind map, and or providing some vocabulary that can be useful for writing essays or other tasks. Generally, we cannot talk or write about something we know nothing about. It means that teachers should obtain some information before giving his students to write or speak on the topic, yes, because our students can ask any question about the topic. That's why as a teacher we should prepare some information. Next, the choice of the topic is very important. The learners should be familiar with it. It means when we give, yes, some topic for writing or speaking, it can't be one or two topics. It means that we should let our students to choose the topic that is interesting for them, and it should be according to your students' interest, age or level. Next, before asking the learners to produce language, we have to equip them with techniques, strategies, and other. It means, for example, when your students are writing an opinion essay, before writing you should provide them the structure of the essay, yes, what the essay includes and some useful language. It makes your students writing easier. And the next, communication breakdowns may happen. It means that when your students are talking or speaking about something, the main thing is the communication, yes? And during the communication, they can hesitate or struggle with something, yes? For example, they don't know some words, and if they are thinking about the answer, it's not a problem. Only as a teacher, you should support your students to continue the communication. And the last one, when difficulties arise, learners have to be able to use specific communication strategies. When your students are talking, teachers should walk around and support his students to communicate and to feel free to speak with their peers. The last one is the feedback. Feedback can be in the form of self feedback or peer-regulated feedback, and the very effective way is the feedback of a teacher. And when our teachers, yes, and as we usually do it, we only give the feedback in generally, it's not correct. I advise you to give a specific feedback. For example, when your students make mistakes, yes, during the writing with the grammar, you should write it in the written form. For example, improve your vocabulary or improve your grammar, or use the complex structure instead of simple, and so on. The feedback is the effective way to correct the student's mistake or improve their skills. Here you can say a mind map about health. Here there are given some health conditions like medicine, yes, vitamins, doctor consultation, and spiritual conditions like people's mood, love, hobby, and so on. Yes, it's a very effective when your students don't know what to write or what to speak, This works very well. Next is as a teacher, you can provide your students essay templates or samples. The first one is the essay template. Only there are given some useful language and a linking word that can be used in the writing essay, and your students only should put his ideas and the examples here. You can provide it the students who struggle with writing, and the next is the good essay sample. Here students can take some ideas, examples, and get acquainted with the structure of the essay. Next technique, the approach that I use in my lessons is the draft writing. It means if your students have some mistakes, yes, or he has some problems with the writing, these students can rewrite the same essay, yes. For example, he can succeed in the writing at the first time or next times, and after the writing the first draft, you should correct the mistakes and give the specific feedback. After writing, after feedback, students should rewrite the same topic, taking into the consideration your teacher's feedback, yes, avoiding the same mistake. The next one is the assessment criteria is very important. The writing assessment criteria or speaking assessment criteria. Here you can say the criteria of the writing task is the content, organization, vocabulary, language use, and so on. Next is, as I mentioned, we should support our students, yes, before giving some tasks, and give them some useful language. It's called language for learning. Here you can say some linking words that can be used in the essays or some synonyms, yes, to avoid the repetition and so on. Then in the end, I want to say that evaluation is a very crucial step of the improving students' productive skills. It's important as well as in the speaking task and the writing. Here you can say 4-3-2 technique. It means when your students have the speaking task, yes, for example, discussion on the topic. First, these students discuss the topic, yes, the question in one group, for example, in 4 minutes. Then after discussing in groups, he goes to another group and retell the topic in 3 minutes. After it, at the end, he in front of the class talks about the topic, about this topic, yes, about the same topic in 2 minutes. Here we can notice that one student repeats the one topic 3 times. It improves students' fluency, yes, in different formats, for example, in groups, in peers, or in the front of class. If we change the topic, students can hesitate, yes, can struggle, and the next is monitor and give feedback. I want to say you, when your students are talking or speaking, never sit down. I advise you to walk around and make some notes. For example, your students can make some pronunciation mistakes, yes, make note of the mispronounced words, yes, or pronounce incorrectly words. Then after talking, write it on the boards, the not incorrectly pronounced words, and without naming the students who made this mistake. Only write this incorrect word and ask your students how it should be pronounced, yes, and it works very well. Then give feedback. You should provide the feedback individually or generally, yes, to all the group. Then avoid overcorrection. Don't try to correct your students every time, yes. We know that our students, they are not native speakers and they can have some problems, yes, or challenges when they are when they are speaking or writing, because the productive skills are very spontaneous, and so on. And the last one is post-lesson reflection. And I recommend you post-lesson reflection. It helps you to make some notes, yes, and who during the lesson made some mistakes, and to prepare another activities to avoid these problems in the next lessons. And try to differentiate your students. For example, give some less able students a simpler task, and more able students more difficult tasks. That's all for today. I will be happy if you find it helpful, and subscribe my channel on YouTube. See you soon.